Brightest Shore Early Access just came out today, and if you're an old school RuneScape or RuneScape fan, it's a great MMORPG to try out. And if you've never played those games, or you never did it when you were a kid, this might be a good way of getting into those and seeing whether you actually like the idea of those games, but old school RuneScape is maybe too old for you. I'm gonna tell you my first impressions on them and a little bit on how the game works. Subscribe to the channel for more content like this. Go to my Ko-Fi if you want to support my content. And let's get into it. So as you can see here, I'm playing the game right now. You can see a lot of people around me. And you can see the graphics as well. The music that we're listening to right now, of course, is also from the game. And you can see that, the graphics, the aesthetic is very much, it's a bit cartoony, but at the same time, I think it's pretty charming in my opinion. The tutorial is kind of long. I did do it. It took me a little bit of time, but it was very interesting. It was a good way of making a tutorial. And also, what can I say? It was very funny. The dialogue in this game is actually pretty interesting. It's pretty fun. You can interact with the characters very well, making jokes against them, and you have a lot of liberty in this regard. For example, at the start of the game, if you actually disrespect your superior, he will force you to do 5 push-ups, and you actually have to do them, otherwise you can't continue the main story, which I think is very cool. And you can do this all over in every one of the quests. There's a lot of side quests that give you a lot of experience. For example, I just did one called the Obelisk that gave me like an insane amount of not only it was a tutorial, but it gave me like 5 levels. It's actually pretty fun. So in that regard, I think the game is very good. You can talk to people by just going in here and just putting your chat in here, and everyone's gonna see what you say. You can put emotes as well, and the UI is actually customizable as well. You can move things around, not too much. As you can see here, you can just move the things to different different circles and stuff like this. And the entire game revolves around clicking. You're gonna move with click. You're gonna do almost everything, interact with other things with click. This is kind of a bad thing in my opinion, because there's really no keybinds at all. You can't really WSD to move around the camera. You can't really use any spells with your keybinds. You can't really do anything with keybinds other than making Ctrl F to make the game windowed or full screen. Sure, this is alpha, but these things have been a bit annoying. You can also like double click, for example, to like attack an enemy. That doesn't really work. Now, speaking of attacking enemy, how is the combat? Very simple, just like in something like RuneScape. You have your essentially just out attack with certain weapons. I'm guessing the weapons will indeed have certain situations to be used. Some weapons will be good in certain situations, some other ones in other situations, so you're gonna have to prepare this before. I'm just gonna go in here. It usually just works in this way. You go into the enemy you want to attack, and then you press quick attack. Then you choose the first attack to start with, which weapon you want to use. You have your one-handed weapon, your two-handed weapon, and your ranged attack weapon, and then you engage with them. Now, as you can see here, you can actually change what you use. I actually tried and kill it with the bow, and I failed, so I'm gonna start using my halberd instead, that I got lucky into getting. Now, of course, you can see here how they have different attributes. The main ones that I would like to say is that, obviously the two-handed one is gonna be a bit lower. And of course, also, you have this little percentage here. That is how likely it is for you to actually trigger a magic attack. In this weapon is 48%, in this one is 36%. And of course, it has different types of magic attack. I'm guessing this one is kind of frosty, kind of attack. On the bottom, you can see the level you need to be to actually equip this, and where it actually came from as well. In this case, from this town, right? Now, it is important to say also that you can only attack one enemy at a time, and only one can attack you at a time. And also, other allies will not be able to engage with the one that you are attacking. Now, this might actually change if you get into something like a party. I haven't gotten into something like this right now, but I'm guessing that's gonna be the case, because I mean, it's an MMO. How can it not be parties and grouping up? Of course, it must exist. But right now, as of as I have explored, this is not the case. Also, you're gonna have potions here if you equip them, and special attacks. I'm guessing it's gonna be something that you get later. You also have your spells as well, but these are mainly just for you to use in terms of utility. For example, the sense one will actually make you be able to see all the enemies around you or all the items around you. Immunity will make you flee, is your flee ability, and teleport will make you go back to your town. right? So that's about it right now. I'm sure we're gonna get more stuff later, specifically for the special attacks, but that's about it. Of course, you also have your professions, your chef, your fisherman, your forager, and your alchemist. All these things will be leveled up the more you actually do these activities. And of course, this is a very important part of a game like RuneScape. Right now, also you have your combat level, which is guard. Right now, level 14, and you just get this by attacking more enemies. That is the main point of this game: going around, leveling up, doing quests, and getting more items, and getting more levels in everything. In all these professions, right? Of course, also it's very fun that there's actually not a map. I mean, there kind of is, like the one here, but you will not see exactly where you're at, and you're gonna have to like kind of navigate around all of these places, see where you're at, and memorize the way that you need to go to one place or the other, which makes the game a bit more, you know, more explorable, more fun to explore, more interesting in that regard. And also, you can see that there are spots that I haven't explored, and until I explore them, I will not know what they actually have. Right now, I'm just going to go into one of them so you guys can actually see. But look at that, then, boom, it'll tell you which one it is.